What a friggin' mess out here. It's just starting, people. Good morning, everybody. Game Time Brian here, otherwise known as the mailman. Heading to work. Looks like we got a snow day, people. Or the kids got a snow day. Game Time's got to walk in this shit all day. Getting in my Ford Explorer. Don't think I'll need the four-wheel today, but this thing normally handles pretty well. It's funny, you know, they're only expecting 3 inches. Pause. But, you know, we haven't really, the last couple of years, we haven't gotten that much snow. So I got my snow boots on, which adds weight. Here you go. Let me see if I can grab one of them. These friggin' things. These are overshoes. They go over your sneakers. So that's kind of cool. But adds weight to your day. So if I walk 10 miles, you do the math, right? So is what it is. That's part of the job. I hate winters, working in them. I don't mind sitting home and sipping a hot coffee, tea, hot chocolate, whatever, looking out, saying, ooh, look how pretty. But I don't even mind going out in it. I used to go skiing all the time in it. But it's something about working. It's a little different. When you got to work in this shit, it's a little different. Sorry, people. I'm trying to get the camera straight. There we go. We got a little slippage. So we got some kind of news. Looks like the Eagles are looking for coordinators, possible coordinators to come in. I don't expect nothing to happen with Brian Johnson. They'll probably go out and get somebody to help Brian Johnson. Kind of like what a Schottenheimer did for McCarthy. I don't know. Sirianni, he's an offensive guy, but it looks like Nick Sirianni is back with the Eagles. Hey, Eagles fans, I know your pain. Some of you like him. Dracula, he's good when he's winning. I posted something on Twitter, you know, after that Kansas City game, he was chirping in the tunnel. You know, it's just lack of respect for your fellow coaches. Hey, Nick, you're not playing the game, buddy. It's good to be excited, but be a little classy. So the Eagles look like they're trending towards keeping Sirianni and Brian Johnson if he doesn't get a head coaching job. If he does, then it looks like you're cleaning house on defense. You need to get players, you know, and that kind of leads me to the Cowboys. Out of 32 teams, I got a question for y'all. Out of 32 teams in the NFL, this was ranked, I don't think it was Pro Football Focus, forgive me, it might have been. Who do you think had the worst draft? Now, how they go by is how many snaps your players are playing. How much contributions is your rookie class having for your team in their rookie season? They're not saying it's a bust all in all. They're saying you didn't get much out of your draft. The Dallas Cowboys have finished 32 out of 32 teams in the NFL with, as far as last year's draft class. Eagles finished about 11th, and you would assume so. Yeah, you got Jalen Carter, a real good rookie who showed flashes of being dominant. He's a dominant player. He was my number one coming out. So you can understand. But herein lies the problem, people. The problem is Dallas relies too much on the draft and not enough on free agency. It's a delicate balance. I know you can't go out and spend, just spend in free agency. I get it. But when you don't have a good year from your rookie class, like the Cowboys, 32 out of 32 teams, herein lies the problem. If Overshown would have played, we probably would have moved up higher, obviously. Schoonmaker, Mozzie, Book is still out on those two players. Schoonmaker was Ultra Cowboy. Schoonmaker was a big-time disappointment. He just was. So, that doesn't mean he's a failure yet. We give him 3 years, right, people? We give our draft picks 3 years. So, that's it. I mean, you need to supplement your draft with some free agents. I've been calling for guys like Bobby Wagner, DeMario Davis, older veterans who were mainstays in your defense, who are always there. You can count on them. They're grizzled veterans who stay fundamental. When things break down, you could count on Bobby Wagner to fill the right gap. You can count on a DeMario Davis to do his job and not get folded inside to allow the outside run. We got too many guys on our team who are undisciplined, who are chasing the stat instead of chasing the tackle. You know what I mean? So, listen, we're normally good. The draft is hit or miss, which is why you have to hit in free agency. Now let's circle back around to the Eagles. Sirianni's back, it looks like. Looks like Belichick is going to end up in Atlanta. Looks like Harbaugh's going to the Chargers. Interesting. Now, I want to know from you Cowboy fans, I want Dan Quinn back at this point. I already told you that we were undermanned in that secondary. Now, Dan has a part in that, right? Dan should have put his foot down and said, no, go get me a linebacker once Leighton went down. But they tried to patchwork. I could already see Stephen Jones, a.k.a. Catboy, in Dan's ear saying, well, we really can't. This is what we got to spend because we got these contracts coming up. Well, how did your playoff work for you, Stephen Jones? How did that turn out for you? Your defense couldn't stop anybody. You had 6 D-backs on the field for 48 out of the 54 plays on defense. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. So, it starts there. You need to have, stuff on defense. You need to have linebackers. Now, the Eagles, I made a statement saying I think Dallas is ahead of the Eagles, especially with Kelsey retiring. Eagles need linebackers and defensive backs and safeties. The one thing the Eagles have is their D-line. They need Jordan Davis to get on some kind of diet. I think they'll be fine there. They'll draft somebody, pick somebody up. But Jalen Carter there, Josh Sweat there, Brandon Graham looks like he's coming back for another year. Eagles have a lot of pieces on the line to work with, but their secondary and linebacker core needs most of your draft. That's where it's going to need. I think you need a receiver and all defense if I'm the Eagles. The Cowboys, linebackers, offensive linemen, defensive linemen. You might even need an edge rusher. DeMarcus Lawrence, I would assume he would be back next year, probably in his final year, but no, there's no telling. There's no telling. And then Tyler Biadasz is probably gone. A lot of changes coming up, but a little programming alert. This kind of sucks for me, but I'm not positive yet. I'll let you know later on my lunchtime chat. Tomorrow, I will be streaming both games, but I may not make the beginning of the Ravens-Houston game. Sorry, East Side, I may not be there on time. I'm going to try to be, but we're really short-handed at work. I got to work tomorrow. It's horrible weather. We'll see if everybody shows up, I should be there on time. If not, I may be an hour late. So I'm going to set up the broadcast in the morning for 4:30. But I will leave a note on there if I'm running late. So I'll stream tomorrow. I'll stream both games, and Sunday we got a 3 and a 6:30. So I will be streaming both games on Sunday for sure. So, but yeah, that's it. Nick Sirianni's back. It looks like him and Howie, Big D Howie, is looking for coordinators. Should be interesting. Don't know how that's all going to work. You might even find, I wonder if Frank Reich will come back. To me, Frank Reich would come back if he's the OC and get rid of Brian Johnson, but it really looks like Jalen Hurts is pushing for Brian Johnson to stay, which is kind of unfortunate for the Eagles. But I know your pain, Philly. I know your pain, because we just choked in the playoffs as the Cowboys. Now we have a first-place schedule next year. You know what normally comes with that. And, sucks. It just sucks. A very frustrating time of year to be a Cowboy fan over the last 28. And we've had a couple playoff wins in 28 years. That's it. Well, Dax had 2. I'd have to go back and add them. We haven't had much. So, very frustrating. But, yeah, shout out. I should try and get to my lunchtime chat around 3 o'clock again. Maybe 2:30 if I'm doing good. It all depends on the mail volume. The mail must go, right? But we'll see who showed up to work today. These young kids don't want to work. So, all right, people. Peace out. I'll talk to you later on my lunchtime chat. Late.